In the Pokemon world, a regional bird refers to a common bird-like Pokemon that often appears early in the game of a specific region. These Pokemon typically have simple designs and are often normal/flying types. Although, most new trainers might have a hard time using these birds when they encounter a rock-type gym as their first challenge. So hopefully they chose the water or grass starter in this occasion. In today's video, I'll be ranking the regional birds from worst to best. All in my opinion, of course. Coming as the worst is Unfezant. Unfezant gets let down a lot due to its overly poor design. We can talk about how bad the female one is, but the male one is the same, he's just wearing a mask. Unfezant also has a horrible special defense stat, coming in at a whopping 55. Spoink has a better special defense stat. Spoink. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot you could do to save this Pokemon in my opinion. Next we have Fearow. I'm putting Fearow on this list as Spearow can be caught as early as Route 3 in the Generation 1 games. Fearow seems like one of those Pokemon that severely suffered from the 2D to 3D transition, from a design point of view that is. Its only real redeeming factor is it gets access to the ability Sniper, which increases the critical hit damage by an additional 50%. If this is your favourite Pokemon, I suggest you seek some professional help. Now we have Noctowl. Noctowl is one of those Pokemon that really suffers from its typing. It being an owl Pokemon and all, you'd think it would have gained the Dark or Fairy typing. Who knows, even the Psychic typing, due to Noctowl getting access to 5 different Psychic moves via level up. Hopefully Game Freak can redeem this Pokemon in the future with either an evolution or a Kalos form in the upcoming Pokemon Legends ZA. This next pick might be a bit controversial, but I'm going with Pidgeot. Pidgeot may have been the first flying type we encountered when we set off on our journey back in 1996, but design is just bland overall. Man's walking around with a Peaky Blinders haircut, which he stole from his previous evolution in Pidgeotto, which is far more fun to say by the way. They may have redeemed it a little bit back in Gen 6 when they gave it a Mega form, which gave it access to the ability No Guard. But the only move No Guard really utilizes was Hurricane, which is 100% accurate in the rain anyways. Toucannon, the cannon Pokemon. People want to roast me in the comments section for putting this Pokemon above Pidgeot, but what can I say, I like shinies with a little bit of purple in them. Toucannon is super let down by its abilities, having both Sheer Force and Skill Link, which on their own are pretty good abilities. Unfortunately, Toucannon can't seem to utilize having them, as it has no stab multi-hit attacks, or has any strong moves that have a secondary effect. Sure, you could Terra Rock and Rock Blast some things, but it seems like a waste of a Terra to me. Its signature move Beak Blast is super cool though, and I feel like it should be used way more. The newest bird on our list, Kilowattrel. Kilowattrel is super cool having the electric and flying typing, fully getting rid of its electric weaknesses. It also has a super cool ability in Wind Power, which boosts the electric type moves after getting hit by a wind move. It has a fairly decent speed stat, but sadly 125 base speed doesn't seem to make the cut in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, at least not from a competitive point of view. Cracking to the top 5 we have Swellow. Swellow is a weird one. It seems really cool when you first encounter it in Ruby and Sapphire. But once 3D rolled around, it got a really weird sprite. He just kind of floats there. Swellow getting access to Guts is really nice. A status condition plus Stab Facade is just brutal. Not a lot of things can live that. You get some bonus points for being used in the Ruby and Sapphire Tortoise speedrun, due to most of the gym leaders in that game not being able to take a boosted Facade. Staraptor, a humble emo bird with his red fringe and looks like he just came out of My Chemical Romance concert. Anyways, Staraptor gets a lot of handy fighting type moves like Close Combat and Final Gambit, which makes me think maybe someone wanted to be a fighting flying type. But Gen 4 isn't really known for its type inclusion, Flint. It gives access to Intimidate and Reckless, which is handy as it learns Takedown and Brave Bird via level up and gets Double Edge via TM. Next up, we got Pelipper. Fun fact, in getting footage for this game, it took me like a whole 30 minutes to find a Pelipper. I was thinking maybe Pelipper doesn't exist, maybe he's the friends we made along the way. But the one thing Cerebi doesn't include, that thankfully the in-game Pokédex does, is Pelipper can only be found during the day. So maybe Mr. Cerebi should fix that. Anyways, Pelipper is really handy. It has a lot of top finishes in competitive play thanks to its ability Drizzle and access to Tailwind. In restricted formats, Pelipper is seen as the go-to turn 0 rain setter. But once a non-restricted format rolls around, he gets replaced by this little guy known as Kyogre, or Kyogre as 6-year-old me would say. I also may be a little biased with Pelipper in the third slot, as my first ever Pokemon game, Ruby, I caught a level 2 Winger and took that dude all the way to Steven. Corviknight just barely misses the number 1 spot. Being introduced in Sword and Shield, and being one of the very few Pokemon to be gifted a Gigantamax form, Corviknight saw a lot of success early in early regulations during Scarlet and Violet, thanks to its Steel and Flying typing, and its ability Mirror Armor. Mirror Armor bounces back any stat drop that Corviknight might be inflicted with. Stuff like Intimidate and speed stat drops from Icy Wind get bounced back to the opponent. Fun fact, Rookidee is one of the very few pure flying type Pokemon in the game. And finally, drumroll please, the number 1 Pokemon is Talonflame. Talonflame is easily the best early route bird Pokemon to be encountered, with access to its signature ability in Gale Wings, which allowed Talonflame to gain priority if it used a flying type move, and because of this, Talonflame ran wild back in X and Y meta. It was so good that by the time the Sun and Moon rolled around, Game Freak had to nerf Gale Wings, making it so it only worked if Talonflame was at full health. Its shiny could do with a makeover though. Hopefully Game Freak add a grass flying type bird to get the fire, grass, water, bird call going. Overall, Talonflame's combination of speed, priority, versatility, typing, and support options made it a highly effective Pokemon in both singles and doubles formats. And that's it, that's my list. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comment section down below. I am fairly new to making these sorts of videos, so any feedback would be highly appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget I have VGC content on this channel as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.